clinch and claw you with dumb, numbed, rounded fingertips, as the pain and rage and passion grip that thing which within my ribs still knows you. And as my stomach clenches my ferocity and my whole body blossoming and bridled, you are not but a concept of things, a string of ideas I could think of too much or it would undo the point. A tool I could use to fuel and abuse my poetry first, my heart, tenderize my soul. I would lust as tigers ravage prey. I would lust as droughts leave dust alone to slake my thirst. Alone to quench my palate and not slake my thirst. I could lust unsated if I were near you long enough. And I would hate the crazed bindings of my brains perceiving you, so shallow and fickle a thing, as having undue worth in my world. Yet seeing you, I know, would stir this up. Stir up shock, peculiarity, curiousness, then lust, ache, lust, and as I've said, or as you've read into this, disgust. Okay, countering that, this is what I would like from romance. Never bring me flowers, please, but wear your heart upon your sleeve. Never walk me on the shore, just grow to love me more and more. Never write me pretty prose, write for love and write for woes. Be a tad bit sentimental, be extremely existential, be as though from heaven sent, be exquisitely turbulent. Be a man who's with passion seething, be a man who's worth believing, not a man whose one redeeming quality is that he's leaving.
Yeah, I think so too. It's an old one.
Okay, now a poem based on another poet's poem again. This is on Women by Louise Bogan. I do not believe women should be still, as Louise Bogan contends or pretends, that they are more dense and more idle than men. I do not believe their love is too little or too much. I only know it is spawned and sparked by poignancy and touch. And I've never been content to live idly or slow, to confine my world to my own home or heart, to never know the vastness of the world, the raw reality, the grit, the pain, the ache, the hardship, the toil of sweat and spit. Women have no wilderness in them. I cannot speak for all, but for myself, I'm bright-eyed, feral, full of life, finding in my way a world of wealth. Which leads me to my next point, because I just got back this week from traveling Europe for 2 months, and this is kind of about a town in Romania, sort of. On a snowy hill in Brasov, I could have sat and cried for loneliness and hopelessness and my questioning of why I was there at all. Moments later, bursting with pride, having deftly devised a route to Bran Castle and procuring a guide for myself and 2 Americans who, out of luck, had found me. The castle was blown by the wind, awesome to behold. We felt rather dignified, having attained our goal. I, the mistress of this, they, my cherished catalysts. Knowing ridiculous moments control me. Sorry, I had to say this part again. It's my sister's favorite part. Knowing ridiculous moments control me, undone and redone by moments only, standing a conqueror on stones so old, with scholars, explorers I know I may never see again. Ridiculous, the 3 of us, wonderfully taking life in. The moments before, I was alone in the snow, poised to cry, for the same despicable emptiness of my soul, before it was enriched and divine, undone, redone, and in that moment, whole. Sorry. And a short one. Dear Mother, I'm sorry that I tend to drink too much, which is to say I'm sorry that I'm such a goddamn lush. Because alcohol erases the end of most of my nights, but at the very least I haven't been in too many barroom fights. Okay, a poem to my sister. Can I write her tears which flittered to my eyes as she uttered out the words that plotted and devised a plan and a life and a thumbing of it without me? We look at one another, devoutly committed, exchanging secrets unbidden, mischievous souls, typing and arresting so many arrested goals, and we wish and we hope, or have hoped long ago. We are shaking the snow globe of our childhood hopes. We have not coped with getting or giving less than we are owed. Okay, another short one. Some mother-in-law's sentiment. Ever since you've taken my only daughter's hand in marriage, I have found that wedded bliss is one thing to disparage. Oh, some things you cannot change, and oh, some things you can, and oh, how I wish my daughter had better taste in men. not to lie and not to drink. Some things like to love myself again, to not be lost. We are in the belly of ripe September, and vows and promises are silver rings we peer through and toss off. This is a really, really old love poem, kind of, to one of my, obviously, ex-boyfriends, 2002. Flowers. You know, the flowers you gave me to symbolize your love for me in some way I can only suppose, are sitting on my kitchen counter rotting, weak and lifeless. It seems to me most ironic. I don't think your love for me would ever die in such a way. Perhaps if I, or someone else we don't know, plucked you from your native land, traumatized you, stole you from your home, wrapped you in some uncomfortable binding, sold you cheaply to someone who would give you water once, or air, though your lungs had already begun their slow collapse. I suppose then, maybe. But I don't think I'd ever try to steal you away from things that nourished you and gave you so much life. And I wouldn't mean to bind you in some constricting ugliness so tight you couldn't breathe. And I could fain believe I'd sell you for any quick delight, or neglect you so long you might wither up and die. Or if I did these things, even so, I'd choose believing you would still adore me beyond your lack of breathing. I have had months where I've lied upon the floor, waiting for life to stir in me as it had stirred before. Shall I visit Hervé and have a glass of wine? I entreat you, what should I do with this little life of mine? Okay, this is while I was still dating someone, so it's kind of positive. South Street Seaport. The sun ripples on the water. It's a warm 41, and my skin and faux fur jacket are kissed by the sun. And you are sleeping next to me in a beach chair on the pier, and I am smiling that we're out here at the wrong time of the year. A warm December midday in the middle of the week. A smile for miles we've walked, and everything we seek. Okay, 1 second.
She wrote it when she first moved out here, so it was like 2.5 years ago almost.
Okay, this poem kind of disturbs me. It came to me as I was falling asleep one night, so there's no real reason for it other than that. He who wins the race. He pushed himself forward and ran hard over the roots and all that dirt, and fell in a pool, mud, thrust himself up, and ran harder, forcing calves, thighs, legs onward, tense, force, strength, feral, his pursuers close behind him. He ran toward the peach grove and down the hill, his pursuers close, close at his heel, and he darted like a shot into the yellow peach grove under the darkening sky, below low-hanging branches, the dimming light, ran through the peach grove and to the oak forest, jumped down a ledge, swiftly slid under it, and his pursuers ran heatedly past. Though if they had come back, and they did later, they would have seen the marks in the sand, and the slide of his skin, and the spot where he hid, and stopped him from raping and killing another young victim, a 5-year-old kid. And after they're dead, the newspapers read, after they're dead, he rapes them again. Am I reading too fast?
I think you're doing good, Val. Maybe just a little fast in some of them, but...
Okay. Did Sophocles, whilst looking out over the vast Aegean, ponder the coming of wars? Did he look to the sea of 1914, battle-torn with infantry of Australia, New Zealand, fighting on the peninsula where he had stood before? Did he comprehend the future of Germany, Australian aid, the Central Powers, staring out upon the sea so many stretching hours? Did he think the calm Aegean would be cut across by warships, making their slow way to the wild and bloody fray, years before another war with Germany at Auschwitz? Did he ponder long ago how many men could die in the future ways of war with trenches on both sides? Or did he merely feel the wind rising off the somber sea and look out over rolling waves and settle for philosophy? Okay, this is when my friend asked me why love outweighs logic. She asked me why we throw ourselves into things which seem so pointless, like loving men who don't deserve the scribble of my pen tip. My dear friend, I have no idea. I only know we act as such because emotions outweigh logic and philosophy is less than touch. All our years of education, all our lofty high debate, are lost in flickers of such moments because they do not satiate. All our vast enlightened learning, all our non-sophomoric yearnings, are yet tossed off at passion's burning because that lust is far more great. Oh, truly, I do love the scholars and seek out their most perfect prose, but in their lines I only see reflections of my weakened woes. And while I love with vigor learning, I might seem too oblivious, for all the knowledge of the world is less than his most tender kiss. Almost done. Getting there. Okay, Kelly. This is for my friend who visited me when I first moved to New York in a winter. So, it's winter now, and you should be here. We should be bundled up, walking ridiculous lengths to free events or in search of the perfect bagel. We should be rushing exhausted up subway steps and drinking out of tiny bottles on Thompson Street and considering wine because it says 2 for 1. You should be here and we should do something. Go skiing and hiking and do something only crazy, wild with life girls would do. Because it is our time of year now, and I miss you. And this is what I included because it's one of my mom's favorite ones. Try to breathe the children in. I always hold it half a sin. They smell like cookies and taste as sweet, the children that live in the house up the street. Their mommies and daddies are always away, and the children run rampant for most of the day, so it's really quite easy to catch them, you see, for someone as resourceful and cunning as me. I trap them in cages of gobbledygook and beat them with canes till they turn black and blue. They're howling with pain by the time that I'm through, and they're tender enough for my meat chunk child stew. Hope there are no vegetarians in here. Okay, 3 more. The way I want to be loved. Snatch me up like the best candy after the piñata has been broken. Yes, that is what it's like. Run to me smiling like the wickedest roller coaster in an amusement park. Oh, that is it, exactly. Speak of me like the most exciting arcade game you've never beaten. Oh, so, I see. It's okay to love if you love this way. Snatch me up in your arms, be excited to see me. Speak of me in all amazement, or, for God's sake, leave me. And this one for my sister again, on trying to write a poem. Because, when you're trying to write one, it just isn't fair. I have raped the beauty of the world and prostituted it on a fickle page. All my truths and revelations fled in a fiery, furious fit of rage. Melpomene, my loyal, gracious muse, has looked upon me with deeply saddened eyes, and I at her, with all my humbled pride, I bowed my head and offered only sighs. All right. Last one, and it's kind of just how I like to describe myself, I guess. My few boys I've dated said it was the perfect description, so whatever. Ideals. Lash my back, burn my skin. I am bound to fail you somehow. My ways are not too feminine. Perhaps I do not make you proud. I rarely will wear dresses. I burp and then blow. A sailor might blush at the curse words I know. My hair is cut short and a little bit strange. Dramatists quiver at my emotional range. I ask absurd questions you find impolite, and I'm usually sloshed by the end of the night. I crave attention. I bicker. I write too much prose. Conservatives gasp at the sight of my clothes. I discuss my old boyfriends. I slack on my dreams. You can never be certain what my comments might mean. You don't introduce me, I whine all the time. I'm angry, then tell you that everything's fine. I bring up the past, and I'm scared of the future. My wrist was just stitched with 3 little sutures. I cost too much money but want to spend more. I'm always discussing becoming a whore. I played you home movies that made you feel nauseous. You've planned out your future while I barely am cautious. These are all things I hope you'll abide, as I'd still love to have you along for the ride. I don't have any books for sale, but thanks.